Hello and welcome to another in the series of Model Motors. Today we're having a radio race car day out. We also hear in the programme from our resident experts and we check out automotive art and photography. Now would you believe it? The first day out of the studio and I get sent to a location where it's absolutely teeming down with rain. But will that deter me? No way. But Ralph's got the right idea. He's indoors in the warm and talking about some classic collectibles. So check it out. Ferrari, Aston Martin, Porsche, Jaguar. Now call me aspiring, well I'm an aspiring owner and now I can own all four and I can own all four at once, can't I Ralph?
Certainly can, Lawrence.
Let's have a look at these splendid 1/18 scale models.
Right, the first one we got here is made by a company called Hot Wheels. This is a 1962 Ferrari GTO. And this car went at auction in the early 80s for about £10 million. Wow. Probably the highest auction car ever. You can buy this for $16.99.
Tell me about a bit more about Ferrari because you can get quite a varied selection, can you?
This is probably the most collectible car brand ever is Ferrari, and there's quite a lot of models done. There's F40s, there's Testarossas, there's 250 Californias, all sorts done in all scales as well, not just 18th scale.
So small 1/43
yep,
scale as well. That's popular, is it?
Very popular.
So really a lot of aspiring owners out there.
Yep.
Maybe someone who can't afford the real thing, right?
Well, that's quite normal, I think.
But you can still become a Ferrari owner.
You certainly can.
All right, brilliant. Let's try Porsche.
Right, this one's made by a company called Maisto, also 1/18 scale. This is only $16.95. This is a model of a very early 356 Roadster.
Yeah.
But you can get modern 911s, that sort of thing.
So you can come right up to date with the Porsche mark.
You certainly can.
How about for BMW or for a
there's
Z3
BMW
or
new
something?
Z3s, even the model of the new Z8.
So how does that measure up against a period car, a modern car with a modern launch? You'd still get a modern replica,
A lot of the manufacturers now, like i.e. BMW and Audi and people like that, they have these models made as promotional models to promote the new car, and they sometimes give them or sell them to, you know, potential customers. Yeah. And we also get a spin-off from that. We're able to sell them.
So someone who owns the full-size car would want to buy a model replica as well, yeah?
Sometimes, yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, two big British marks. Aston Martin. Which one's this one then?
This one's made by Auto Art. This is a Aston Martin DB5. This is the same car that James Bond drove, and there is actually a James Bond version available of this.
Yeah, in the correct colours,
In the correct colours in silver.
They come in various colours then, yeah?
This comes also in green.
Green. Smaller scale or?
They're smaller scales. There's 1/43 scale, which is about £17.
But 1/18 scale is pretty popular, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, because everything opens, all the doors and the bonnet and the boot open, it steers.
Yeah, I must say it's a nice piece of work. Did you tell me how much that one was?
This one is about £40.
£40,
yeah.
So really not spending a lot of money to...
No, not too much.
All right, and the final one, the Jaguar.
This is the same manufacturer as the Aston Martin, Auto Art, about the same price, £40.
Now this is a C-type.
It's a C-type, but it's a road-going version, as opposed to a Le Mans car.
Yeah, I see what you mean. So it's slightly different from that raced at Le Mans, yeah? And how much would this one be?
This is about 40. There's also other Jaguars available from other companies like Barago, do an E-type Jaguar, Roadster or Coupe,
and
about £17.
Right, presumably you can get the modern Jags as well, yeah?
You can get the new S-type, which came out about 2 years ago. That's a mass-produced one, so that's about £18.
Yeah, small scale as well on that one?
And small scale too, yeah.
So you can do 1/43 or 1/18? Yep. Well, terrific, I must say, that's really impressive. So there you go, guys. You can actually own one of these fantastic, famous marques for very little money. I'll tell you what, Joseph here's got the right idea. He's actually finished his car build and he's racing now. Whereas our guys in the office, well, we're almost there. They've only got bodywork and finishing touches to do.
Here we go then, quick progress report. Last time we saw the guys, they were just about to start on suspension. It looks like, Mark, you've got that finished now.
That's it, just finished it there, all 4 bits wrong.
I've got to say, it does look like a little radio controlled car to me. What's left to do?
Just need some wheels, got them all here, it's on the floor, and that'll be it.
And
So.
you ready to race?
Ready to race.
Fantastic. Now Rob, correct me if I'm wrong, but last time we saw you, the chassis was all together. We weren't doing gears, mate, we were doing suspension. What's happened?
Well, I had all the suspension done up and already. I was about to put the wheels on the body shell, then found a little bag of cogs that I'd forgot to put in the other gearbox.
What can you say?
I had to rip it all apart and do it again.
So you've had to pull the whole lot off. Camera guy, can we get a shot of that? All the gears you had to pull the whole car apart again to put that in.
Yeah.
You disheartened?
Yeah, very, very. I would have done it over an hour ago, but got to do it all again.
You still think you're going to beat Mark at the racing?
Oh, at the racing easily, yes.
Fighting talk where I come from. Hello once again from the Men and Motors production office, where, as you know, our two colleagues have been fervently building these radar control cars up, and we're coming to the final stage now. Mark, we're putting the last wheel on there.
Got 3 wheels on, just last one to go.
3 wheels on your wagon.
That's it.
Have you enjoyed putting the car together?
Yeah, it's been alright. My hands are killing. They're all red.
Is that from overuse of the screwdriver?
That's it.
So what's next from here? You think we've got? We're going to test the cars next week, and then it's race day. Are you confident?
Very. Of course, still.
And you're going to put super glue on those tyres, aren't you?
I'm going to put them in now just to look good. And then I'll see.
Again, from when I was a kid and I used to do these a lot, I remember if you didn't put glue on the tyres, after 3 laps, the tyres would come off and you look like a right muppet. We don't want that, do we, Mark?
We don't at all, no.
Now, the body shells, we didn't actually get you to paint those, did we? Because we were very kind. And again, because I'm an expert in these things, they're actually made out of polycarbonate plastic, which is very, very strong. You can do that to them. Ooh! Don't try that at home. You can try it at home. And they're painted on the inside. You notice that car's blue and it's silver on the inside. That's because you paint it in reverse. Spray it with a clear colour of metallic blue, back it with a silver, and you get a lovely colour. And because it's painted on the inside, you can do all manner of things to it and the paint won't scratch off. You might scratch the stickers, but that's about it. And Mark, you've got the Cosworth there. I think if we'd have asked you to put the stickers on, it'd be another 3 days.
For me, probably.
But it looks pretty good. And Rob, you're still going strong, but I've got every confidence in you when it comes to test day, mate. So, from the office, that's about it. We'll see you next week when hopefully these things will be out on the car park, racing about.
Now we are building 2 remote control cars in our office, but I've met somebody here today who's a remote control car expert. Let's have a word.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, how you doing?
Not bad, not bad.
Now tell us, which cars do you run then?
Right, I have 2 petrol cars. One's a nitro buggy. I've also got a 4x4 truck, yeah, with outsized wheels and basically that. Another 4x4 electric truck and a couple of big speedboats and a few other things.
Do you race the cars then?
No, I just
Collect them really, I suppose?
drive them around and have a good fun with them.
Well, yeah, well, where would you go? Like a car park?
Anywhere that's like got open space,
Right.
preferably with gravel and maybe a few dips and that to
Vary
get
it.
the thing to pop wheelies or wheel spin and that.
How much is a kit?
Right, well my buggy cost me 350 quid,
Wow.
so it was a lot of money.
Yeah.
Things
How long
like
does it take to build from start to finish?
Could be anything up to 2 days, depending whether you're respraying and all that lot. Like if you wanted to put like decals all over it, they take a bit of time and everything like that.
Now I know in the series you can get rally cars, Formula 1 cars, yeah?
Yeah, they're mainly like for track and road surfaces, you know, like smooth surfaces, because they're so low to the ground, they don't like the grass and that.
Yeah.
So, but the buggies and the trucks, they're a lot better because you can get more fun out of them. They're all over the place, you know, so it's like well enjoyable.
Some of the models are different scales then, yeah?
Oh yeah, you can get like 1/10, 1/8, and there's another size which I can't quite remember.
Okay.
But you can get quite big
You can
ones
get
like
some
that
real
as well,
beasts, yeah?
Oh yeah, 70 mile and 80 mile an hour jobbies.
Right, so they really can spin around the track.
Yeah, it's stupid speeds.
Wait, it's all serious stuff though, this seems, isn't it?
It can be, because it can get very expensive. You know, it's like depending what you want. You know, if you want a little car that's going to go around your living room, yeah, you can spend £10 on one of those.
Yeah.
But if you want a car that's going out on the road and really fast, you can spend up to £1,000 on it.
All right, here's a key question. What do your friends think of this?
They think I'm crazy. They do.
Do they?
Yeah, well, there was one guy I met, he's all right. He went out and got a bigger vehicle than mine, and he wanted me to fix it for him because he didn't know what to do. So I put it together, and he drove it the first day and like smashed it up.
Yeah.
So it was too fast for him because he thought, yeah, my buggy can handle that. Get something that's like twice the speed. Bought it and crashed it into a tree and smashed it up.
But listen, you don't have to be an expert to have fun with it, no?
No, you don't, not at all. As long as you don't take it around where people are and objects in the way, you can have a great fun.
So it's seat of the pants kind of terror, isn't it?
Well, you can get them to go round corners on two wheels, pop wheelies, do all kinds of crazy things.
And what, presumably, the more you do it, the better you get.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well that's terrific. Well guys, you've obviously got your work cut out because this guy is a real expert, let's face it. Well, now it's time for a break, but coming up in part 2, we hear from an expert in motorsport photography, and Alex talks us through some extraordinary pieces of artwork. So, see you soon. Well, welcome back. Still to come, I talk to an expert in automotive photography, and Alex talks us through some extraordinary pieces of artwork. This gentleman has just bought a very interesting piece. Let's have a look. Ah, wow. Now, why this one?
Well, because I'm restoring one at the moment. It's a Daimler Mark II V8.
Yeah.
I paid 15 for the model.
Right. But there's a funny story you were going to tell me.
Well, you like it because the car I actually swapped for an Audi,
Right.
which a friend had given to me because he owed me a favour. I saw the Daimler, and it was looking very sad and very tired, and it had been sitting in the car park,
Yeah.
and it belongs to the barman.
Right.
And the car park was Buckingham Palace car park in the Mews.
Oh, wow.
And the police were wanting it moved because it was all the tyres had been flat, and there was mildew growing over it, and holes in the doors.
Yeah.
And when I discussed the price, the guy was talking telephone numbers.
Right.
And then when I asked him if he'd do a swap,
Yeah.
and he saw the car, he
Yeah.
nearly pulled my arm off. So that's how I got the car. So the models actually
So
cost me more than the car.
Well, that's unbelievable. What's a really good seller then, do you think? Off the top of your head? Or does it vary?
It varies a lot, but oddly enough, the more ordinary models of more ordinary cars like Anglias and Cortinas and Consuls and all that sell better than exotic stuff like Ferraris and Lamborghinis and that type of thing.
Yeah. I like these transporters, these corgi ones.
They're nice, they're about £30. These sort of things are £40, they're hand-built models,
Right, wow.
and typically,
Oh, that's heavy.
Oh, yeah.
Lovely.
and there'll only be about 200 of each of those made.
Ever thought about photography and motorsport? Well, I caught up with Peter Higham, and he is a real expert. Well, I've taken my camera to motor racing circuits all over the world, and I've never ever managed to get that perfect photograph. But one man that does know a good photograph when he sees it is Peter Higham. He's the director of LAT Photographic. Hi, Peter.
Hi.
Now, what exactly is going on here?
Well, we're the largest photographic archive and news agency specialising in motor racing worldwide. We've got an archive of about 9 million images spanning the history of the sport since 1895, when it all started, to this weekend's Grand Prix.
So you go way back to pre-war?
It's pre-war. The earliest picture in the archive is 1895, all on glass plate negatives, so if you drop one, it's gone forever.
Wow.
And we're currently cataloguing that material. It's from a new collection. We bought him from one of the leading magazines, the Time Order Car. We're currently cataloguing that material, making it available to the public, and that's allied to the work we do at the moment, which is covering every Grand Prix, every NASCAR race, kart race, and so on.
So how many photographs are in the collection?
It's estimated at about 9 million different images. We've never counted them, It's just the claims as we bought different archives adding up.
So can I buy one as a member of the public?
You can. We're launching a retail range through Alex Reade Motorsport, but also by contacting us directly. We can do a search on an obscure car or buy one of the classics.
So can I specify which print?
It varies. It's people who've seen a picture in a magazine and they're in the back of it and they want the picture, through to somebody restoring a classic car and they want to research the entire history of that car in its original form. And then we go through the books and through the negatives and try and find images of that car racing.
Would you say then that there's a popular era of motor racing?
We found the 50s and 60s. In terms of archive material, obviously current material is very popular, but the 50s and 60s are always absolutely key to people.
Yeah.
It's an era of great heroes and great sport, so that is one of the most popular eras.
Yeah, it's certainly the era that I would know best, and I recognise some of these classic prints.
Yeah.
For instance, the United States Grand Prix 1963 Graham Hill. Can you tell me a bit more about the history of this?
Well, this Graham Hill, it just sums up his character, I think, and the joy of winning. Taken by the then chief photographer, Michael T, who was working on Motorsport at the time. It's, as you see, as podiums were in those days. And very different from the quick spray of champagne that you get now.
Yeah, it certainly captures the whole moment, really, doesn't it? Can we just have a quick look at this one here? Again, you know, a classic for me. Great era, Jim Clark, etc.
Yeah. Well, this is has a particular story to it as well. This is taken immediately after the end of the 1964 Belgian Grand Prix, where both Jim Clark and Dan Gurney had run out of fuel on the last lap. Going into the last lap, Clark was running second, and he ran out of fuel, not knowing that the then leader had also run out of fuel. And this is when Dan Gurney is telling him that he actually had won the race. And in the archives, this is the most popular image and one of our best sellers. But in the archive, there's a whole sequence of the whole conversation, and it ends with Jim Clark laughing and then being driven away on another car going back to the thing. So it tells the whole story.
So really you're owning a piece of motor racing history, really, when you put it on your wall. Let's just pop down here a moment. I recognise this print anyway as a classic Fangio style of driving.
Well, it is. I mean, he, as you can see, is absolutely on the limit. He's also been a little bit over the limit as well, where dented on the front of the car.
There's a dent there,
but it just shows the style and grace of driving a car in that era, and especially by the master himself. It's 1957 French Grand Prix.
Yeah, and who's he driving for? Maserati? That's a 250F,
yeah, it's
isn't
250F.
Okay, fine. Let's just move on to this last one.
It's Ayrton Senna's first Grand Prix win. Just picked out 4 black and white images, just showing sort of the old era, and this is the end of really of black and white being taken for magazines. And it's the first Grand Prix by our now chief photographer Stephen T, who is the son of Michael. And it's Ayrton Senna coming into Parc Fermé at the end of the race. As a lot of motor racing fans will remember, or most will, having won it in the wet in absolute masterly performance. And Peter Waugh, the team manager, you can just see the joy of victory there as he comes in.
That's Lotus, isn't it?
It's a Lotus, yeah.
And I recognise the helmet design.
Absolutely. Well, it's his first win and marked him out as the champion that he was going to become.
Yeah, I think, you know, I'll agree wholeheartedly. They're just moments of automotive history, really, and great to own, you know. So, guys, get out there and get your cameras going if you want to get this good. Now this week we're with Alex Reade from Alex Reade International from Carnaby Street. We're in this really impressive gallery. How many pictures do you have actually on show?
Well, at the moment we have about 200 framed prints and we have about 1,000 different loose prints in the browsers.
What sort of artist names should I be looking out for?
The ones that we sell most of are someone like Nicholas Watts, picture behind you, Michael and Graham Turner, Alan Fernley. There's quite a few established artists that are well known amongst the motorsport industry and have been doing it for an awful long time, so stick to the names you like, but most important is to buy a picture because you like it, not just because you think you're going to make money out of it.
How many artists do you actually have in the stable?
Personally, in our company we have about 4 or 5 artists that we actually look after, produce works on their behalf. But we actually look after about 80 different artists from different publishers that we sell on their behalf.
And are they all limited edition prints, or how does that work in terms of me buying one, let's say?
The majority of the artwork is signed and numbered by the artist. Particular few we actually get signed by drivers, and it's a cross-reference. It can be Formula One, it can be motorbiking, it can be rallying, all sorts of different variations of motorsport.
So what's the most popular subject? Is it going to be Schumacher in a Ferrari, or is it going to be something from yesteryear, let's say?
From day to day, F1 is probably the most predominant subject that we look after because it gets the best TV coverage, for example. So Ferrari, Michael Schumacher is, I would say, definitely the most popular and asked after a particular picture.
How much can I expect to pay for a limited edition print, let's say one of 500?
It depends on the artist. Each price is dependent on what the artist charged for their particular piece. If it's signed by Mr. Schumacher, for example, then it will be expensive, but it could be anything from £10 up to about 500.
Do you tend to get regular customers, let's say, who are after a specific type time and time again, or does it vary?
The only problem with the artwork is it does tend to take up a lot of space on the wall, so unless you've got a really large house, you can easily fill a wall up very quickly. But most of our customers collect certain artists or a type of vehicle, i.e. a Ferrari, or just a Schumacher one, or whatever's going to be current at the time. So it does tend to vary between different people.
So do you ever get any of the Grand Prix drivers on the premises to actually sign the prints there and then?
That is something we haven't been able to do until we've just opened this new gallery up. Now we've got a bit more room, a bit more time. We expect to be doing a few signings on site later in the year.
Thanks, Alex. That's really interesting. Well, guys, I've got the choice of print I want. I've got Schumacher's signature and the artist, and I think I'll have this one. How fast can you run? Well, that's all from me for this week. Next week, I meet an automotive sculptor. We hear from our resident experts, Alex and Ralph, and catch up with the guys in the office who have almost finished the car and it's ready to race. So, I'll see you then.